Well, by the time the final whistle went ahead to be blown by the referee in the Allianz Arena, obviously Bayern Munich had gone ahead to score 2 goals and Real Madrid had gone ahead obviously score 2 goals. And guess who was the first to really hit the target? It was none other than Vincious Jr. in the 24th minute. And the first half ended 1-0. Then 8 minutes into the second half, Leroy Sane went ahead obviously unleash a very near post shot, and the goalkeeper couldn't obviously save the goalkeeper of Real Madrid, and then Kane went ahead to capitalize the penalty into the back of the net. How did that penalty come about? Jamal Musiala was brought down in the 18 yards box area, and the referee pointed into the spot. Then in the 83rd minute, obviously the side of Bayern Munich went ahead to obviously continue to do the needful, and what needful did they do? They went ahead to find themselves in a position of really getting themselves into the mix, and they went ahead obviously foul a player of Bayern Munich into the mix, and guess what happened? A penalty was given, and obviously it was 2-2, and that's how the entire game of football went ahead to obviously come to pass, and it ended 2-2. And guess what? Obviously Rodrigo was brought down by Kim Jae, and that was a penalty given. So the first leg is 2-2, and it is like the first half. Looks like no team has gone ahead to obviously have a chance to go through, because it's like 0-0. But I tell you what, Bayern Munich will obviously come out and feel very agitated as to why they've not gone ahead to obviously win this game of football. They had very many clear-cut chances. In a space of 10 minutes, Bayern had close to 3 chances to kill off the game, but their composure was really bad in front of goal, and that's why they never found themselves in a position of killing off that game. Good morning. Because in my country, it's already the 1st of May. I know it's a Labor Day all over the country, all over the world, and it's really one of those days that you have to really be celebrated as an employee of a company that you're really working up for. So tomorrow, no one is really gonna go to work, right? But remember, the footballers are gonna be working. That is PSG is gonna be playing Borussia Dortmund in another second semi-final. The first semi-final has gonna hit to end 1-2. Tomorrow we see how things go on, but let's obviously first get into this mix of how the starts of the game were in a full 90. 14 shots by Bayern Munich. Real Madrid had 10. 5 shots on target by Bayern Munich. Real Madrid had 4. 52% ball possession by Bayern Munich, and Real Madrid had 48%. 555 passes completed by Bayern Munich. Real Madrid completed 516, 93% passing accuracy by Bayern Munich. Real Madrid had 90%, 11 fouls by the side of Bayern Munich, and 10 fouls by the side of Real Madrid. 2 yellow cards issued to both sides, and 0 red cards issued to either sides, meaning that no red card was issued to either Bayern Munich or Real Madrid. 0 offsides to Bayern Munich, and 2 offsides to the side of Real Madrid, and 6 corners to the side of Bayern Munich, and 5 corners to the side of Real Madrid. Now, when you look at these stats, it shows you that it was a 50-50 game, but that's on paper. But if at all you watch that game of football, I think Bayern Munich players were like, this is the only tournament or the only trophy that we can win this season. We've not gone ahead to win the DFB Pokal Cup, right? Now they've missed out onto the Bundesliga. Xabi Alonso went ahead to walk away with it, and they've gone ahead also to find themselves in a position of really losing out on other tournaments. And the only tournament they are left with a chance to obviously kill it off is the Champions League. And if they are left with the Champions League to go, that means they are going to give their energy. And Leroy Sane had a very beautiful game, but for me, a man who caught my eye on the side of Bayern Munich is Jamal Musiala. I've always gone ahead to tell people that this guy is a Martin Odegaard with the right foot. And when you look at how he played today, he was played out of position because he was played onto the left attacking side of the I think he was played onto the left attacking side of the midfield by his manager, Thomas Tuchel, and Thomas Muller was played as a central attacking midfielder into that game. So I loved the game, but I have lots of question marks on the side of Real Madrid that I'm going to address very, very soon. But for Bayern Munich, I think they really had a very huge problem by missing out on Matthias de Ligt, and that went ahead, obviously, showcase itself in the 2 goals they concede. I tell you, if Matthias de Ligt is in that central defense with Dyer, I don't think they don't concede those 2 goals, because that line-breaking pass through the corridor in the middle of the middle of the park couldn't obviously go through like that. It couldn't go through like that because Matthias de Ligt would have gone ahead to read that game very well. But you saw to it that there was a little bit of miscommunication because Kim Min-jae and Dyer haven't gone ahead to play very many games together, and that really caused a very big problem for this lad. But if it was Kim Min-jae, if it was de Ligt and Dyer playing together, they don't concede those 2 goals, because even the second goal, it's Kim Min-jae that brings down Rodrigo, you understand? So it is really written all over the wall that they missed Matthias de Ligt. And de Ligt, who has been really downplayed by this manager, just went ahead, obviously overturned his thoughts about de Ligt after Upamecano and Kim Min-jae failed to sink into that central defense and decided, I'm going to play Kim Min-jae, I'm going to play de Ligt and Dyer. And those 2 have perfectly suited into that central defense very well. And I think there'll be all hands crossed to see to it that they get in this guy. I think that's their hugest prayer, that this guy gets back. Because if he gets back, they'll have a chance to obviously have a very good go at Real Madrid. And when they're playing at Real Madrid, I know they will try to do what they did at Arsenal, right? They'll try to do what they did at Arsenal, sit back a little bit and hit them on the break through the pace of Gnabry, Jamal Musiala, and Leroy Sane. I think that's what this manager is going to be really planning to do. But Carlo Ancelotti, being unpredictable, getting a draw at the Allianz Arena gives him a chance to see to it that he gets going into his side. Because when you look at the side of Real Madrid, they've obviously gone ahead to get all their players back. That is it. All their players are back. And when you look at their bench, they had Luka Modric, Camavinga, Brahim Diaz, even Thoba Courtois is back, Militao is back. So they're really having a fully fit squad apart from Alaba. But the rest of the players are really available to obviously take part into this beautiful game of football that we are all waiting to see to it that it takes center stage. But the difference is that for Bayern Munich, they are not going to be really playing their best players in the midweek. You know the reason. No reason for obviously featuring them there. You get? But for Real Madrid, they have to play in them over the weekend, and they're going to be playing Cadiz. You understand? They're going to be playing Cadiz, and after that they'll play Bayern Munich on Wednesday, meaning that they might really get injuries because they need to win this game of football as to make sure that they find themselves in a very good position of really seeing them into a position of really lifting the title. So it has been really a very hugely heated up game, and my highlight of the moment was that pass of Toni Kroos that went ahead to make to the guy that is Vincious Jr. And Vincious Jr. was such a clinical player because Toni Kroos went ahead to obviously get into that line-breaking pass, and he showed us his quality as a player and why very many teams right now are really looking up to him. Man City is looking up to Toni Kroos. Then even Juventus are looking to sign Toni Kroos, and Real Madrid are really contemplating on whether they offer him one more year or not. But I tell you, his quality has gone ahead to showcase itself into this beautiful game of football. And asked about that pass that he really went ahead to make and got that assist, he said that pass was not at all that special. My pass, credit to Vincious Jr. The pass was okay. I saw that their CBs always follow Vincious Jr. and I know Vini always makes runs into the space. That's why the credit is to Vini. he opened the space. Obviously, he made a very good run off the ball, and with the experience of this man, he went ahead, obviously realized it, and laid that pass into that corridor that was left, and obviously he saw himself really run to them and really hit them. And this is where you are a little bit for every team that's going to be playing Real Madrid next season. If at all they bring in Kylian Mbappe, having two pace merchants, Kylian Mbappe on the right, Vinicius Jr. on the left, and Endrick through the middle. Do you really contemplate onto that? Do you contemplate onto that? Because it is gonna be really very huge. When you ponder about it, you really feel the fear. You really feel the fear that might be the deadliest front three in the world. Vinicius Jr., Kylian Mbappe, and Endrick. It's really going to be very, 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 very fierce into the next season we are going into. And I tell you, if they really get Jude Bellingham into that creativity role very well, it's going to be hard to obviously come at this side. But we have to give credit to Thomas Tuchel. When you're playing with a side like Real Madrid, you have to really keep yourself in. You shouldn't really open up, a lot. But the dominance he got was really very, very, very message sending to the teams that are really looking in for managers. He might not really take long to really get a new job because of his performance in the Champions League. And I tell you, Bayern Munich recruited him because of him winning the Champions League at Chelsea, and they were still into the Champions League, and they thought in the quarterfinals, bringing him in and sacking Nagelsmann for Tuchel to face Pep Guardiola, because they had already gone ahead to face themselves in the Premier League, would have gone ahead to save their season, but it never saved their season. Tuchel really went ahead to implode and failed to go to the semi-finals. But this time round, he knocked out Arsenal and is into the semi-finals. And speaking to the media, Tuchel had the following to say about this beautiful game of football that went ahead to be played at the Allianz Arena. He said, "We started very well and could have taken the lead in the first minute. Then we stopped sticking to our plan. I don't even know why. We considered the goal and things got difficult. It got better in the second half. We showed more determination. We made it to 1 and still had a lot of chances. We had to score the third goal. It feels strange. They turned 2 chances into 2 goals. Obviously, that's how clinical Real Madrid is. And I was so much shocked that Real Madrid couldn't obviously match the levels of performance they went ahead to put up when they're playing against Man City at the Etihad, where they had to knock them out at all in penalties, because Madrid had very many chances away at Etihad than those they went ahead to obviously have at the side of Santiago Bernabeu. And it was really very, 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 very surprising for me. And I was like, oh my God, how is this coming? Meaning that Thomas Tuchel had a very good tactical business, and Thomas Tuchel is really unpredictable. Maybe you have to come out and really give him that he's not like Pep Guardiola, because you go into the game of Pep Guardiola knowing what he's bringing, tiki-taka, high intensity, and trying to move your bodies. He'll have the possession of the ball, but you can easily defend him. But for Bayern Munich, they can attack you in every style. When they say we're going to hit you in the break, they can. When they say we are going to do the tiki-taka, they can. When they say we are going to use the individual brilliance of players like Leroy Sane, like the way he went ahead, obviously scored the first goal for Bayern Munich, the Jamal Musialas, trying to obviously do their trickeries and really chop past players, they can. So that's what makes this team hard to beat and to be really predictable. But it shows you that we are going to be really enjoying a very good second half of a game, because it's really going to be calling. I tell you, it's really going to be calling and giving in goals. And I tell you what, even the manager of Bayern Munich has come out and really noticed it, and he has gone ahead to say that this is Thomas Tuchel. He has said the situation is now clear. A win in Madrid and on to Wembley. It's still 50-50 for me. Let's see what happens. And Thomas Tuchel is really a very good manager, I tell you. But maybe in knockouts, he's the best. We might be here when next week he's gonna go to Real Madrid and really make that game tough for them. You know? And if at all he denies Madrid space to operate and really play a low block, I don't think that Madrid is really good when it comes to obviously unblocking that bus if at all it's packed. That's the question. Because if you want to see the best performance of Vincious Jr., he needs space to operate. You know? Maybe you'll have to get in a Luka Modric who can really unpack the bus through those passes and his brilliant football intelligence. That is it. But it's really going to be a hard game. It's really going to be a hard game, and it's really hard for me to predict who is really going to go ahead and really go through. But we also had some other players of Bayern Munich that went ahead, obviously, have a say about this game of football. And Konrad Laimer, he really had a very beautiful game in that midfield, huge interceptions, and I think he really enjoyed his day. And I see the reason as to why Ralf Rangnick was like, Man United should go ahead and really get in this guy. The guy is football himself. Very good central midfielder. Konrad Laimer has said, it's only half time. It was an up and down game. We started well, but then didn't do so well. This is a typical Madrid. We know them. They slow the game down and then they are there when they need to. On the whole, I thought we did very well. They are all exceptional players. There is still a lot to play for, and we know what we can do. Obviously, Madrid does that, especially them having gone ahead to be playing away from home. All what they had to do is respect Bayern Munich. At this level, you have to respect every team. That's why they slowed down the game, because when it comes to that midfield, all the midfielders they are really having, Tchouaméni, Kroos, and Bellingham, they are really good at really holding up that ball. They are really good. And when they mean slowing it down, they can slow it down, knock it around, and then find out a pass. And when they decide that they are going to obviously raise the levels of intensity and really quick passing, they can. And in a nick of time, they can break you down. And their game is really a perfect counter-attacking game. I know Perez hasn't gone ahead to get in a person who really can challenge Ancelotti, because Ancelotti has gone ahead to do a very good job. And I tell you what, if he goes ahead maybe to play in the final or win it, they might be thinking about even extending his contract for a further year to 2027, because they are giving him to 2026. We don't know how far this is really gonna go, but the guy is showing huge potential on how he can really build this new side of Real Madrid. Madrid has some young players like the Militaos, Nachos, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Jude Bellingham, Vincious Jr., Rodrigo, Adagula. And now, if you're bringing in Endrick, and Kylian Mbappe, Endrick is just 17, Kylian Mbappe is 25, 26, it is a clear indication that the manager around is willing to see to it that he really builds a new squad for Real Madrid. And remember, they are doing the same thing they did way back in 2009, 2010, 2011 season. You remember, that's when the likes of Casemiro's came in through, Toni Kroos, Ronaldo, Karim Benzema, Rafael Varane, Sergio Ramos, Marcelo, you understand? The Luka Modric of this world. Though Luka Modric came in through when he's really, I think, in his late mid, I think like 27 years of age. That's when he left Tottenham Hotspur to go that side. But 27, he was still young, because to show you that he was still young, he was going to have to play there for like 11 years, and he's 38 years of age, and today he has going to have to have a record, he has going to have to set. So they built that team, and that team has going to have to do wonders that side of Real Madrid. And remember, it is the first team in history to win a UEFA Champions League 3 consecutive times. You know, 2017, 2018, 2016, 2017, and 2015, 2016. 3 times in a row, we saw this team win the Champions. That is 2016, 2017, 2018, they went ahead to lift the UEFA Champions League. And I think they've gone ahead to go back onto that blueprint to get in quality young players that can obviously elevate that team to going back to that victory. And I see it happening because all these players they're really good. If you're having Tchouameni, Camavinga, Vincious Jr., Rodrigo, you are looking at Tuchel and very many others. If you add on more three young stars in the name of Kylian Mbappe and Endrick and others they are really looking at, I tell you, Real Madrid is really gonna be a very hard team to beat. Let's all admit, Real Madrid is gonna be a very hard team to beat into that competition because they'll be really having players that are gonna hit obviously get used to this. And the beauty of it all is that they went ahead to win the Champions League. You know, I think it was 2022. Vincious Jr. was there, Rodrigo was there, I think Camavinga was there. So they're really having some huge stars that have ever gone ahead to taste the victory of the Champions League. I think even Rudiger won a Champions League with Chelsea. So that huge Champions League experience is really playing them a very huge favor in the mix. Now, the record set by Luka Modric is he has become the oldest player to play a Champions League game with Real Madrid. He did it at 38 years and 234 days, surpassing Ferenc Puskas' record. You understand? So he's really still setting records even at the age of 38, just 122 days to obviously make it to 39 years. Those are like 3-4 months from now. He'll be making 39 years. But remember, the record holder of really playing as the oldest into the Champions League game of football is obviously the man himself called Pepe. When they are playing against Arsenal in the quarterfinals, Pepe had 41 years of age. All right? So he's really doing a lot. But I don't know at what age did Costa Curta really play, because I remember Costa Curta coming in through to play a game of football for AC Milan when he was like 40. 40 plus. Let me check. Oldest player to ever play in the USL. That is it. I want to know. Isn't it Costa Curta? Is Marco Ballotta. Marco Ballotta was the oldest player to ever feature in the Champions League game, aged 43 years, 8 months, and 8 days when he played in Lazio 3-1 defeat for Real Madrid in December. So in 2023, Marco Ballotta came in through to obviously become the oldest player to ever play this game of football. That is it. So it's Marco Ballotta, 43 years of age, and that's what he went ahead to obviously do. Oh, he was not 43, because if I thought he was 43, would have gone ahead to obviously be equaling Ballotta. Let me check. How old is Pepe? Pepe, born in 1983. Pepe is 41 years of age. But I tell you, next season, he's still a variable. He's going to come to play next season because February next year, he'll be making 42 years of age. So we wait to see whether he'll be into the round of 16 next season to see to it that he really does the needful. But it looks like he can break the record of the oldest player to ever play into the Champions League, because I see a lot in him and his body is still looking like it's not yet tired and it wants to play at a higher level. He might be one of those players that are really trying to obviously play in the World Cup of 2026, because how many years left now? This is 2024. We are left with just 1.5 years. You get to see to it that we hit 2026, and I know he's going to be playing at that level. So we wait and see how that pans out. But Vincious Jr. has found himself really scoring a goal that has gone ahead to put him to a tally of how many into the Champions League. He might be the MVP of this Champions League because he has now 5 goals and 4 assists. I think the only person that can really get him out is Kylian Mbappe. Unless otherwise, Bayern takes it, that's when Harry Kane will count. But Harry Kane looks like he wants to be the top scorer. He now has 8 goals and 3 assists in 11 games. Kylian Mbappe, who is playing today, is having 8 goals too. So you would count on Kylian Mbappe to score today against Bayern Borussia Dortmund, not so? You would count on him to see to it that obviously goes ahead to obviously score a goal today. So that is it about the Champions League first leg, and we wait for the second leg. I know it's really gonna be a tricky one, but anything can happen. And Real Madrid is that side that you'll always known to rule out when it comes to such moments, because this team of Real Madrid always does the needful to obviously shock the world. Let me check Opta Joe and see what he has to say before we obviously call it quits. Thomas Muller made his 150th Champions League appearance for FC Bayern Munich, becoming the only third player to reach this milestone for a single club. After Xavi 151 matches for Barcelona, Iker Casillas had 150 for Real Madrid. Now, they've told us that since the start of 2021-2022 campaign, Real Madrid's Vincious Jr. has been directly involved in more goals in the UEFA Champions League than any other player. He has 30 goal involvements, 15 goals and 15 assists. That is Vincious Jr. And for Harry Kane has been directly involved in 11 goals in the UEFA Champions League this season, 8 goals, 3 assists, the most ever by an English player in a single campaign in the competition. He's really reliable. That's what they've gone ahead to let us know about these players and what they've gone ahead to do into the Champions League. But full time 2-2. That's how the game of football went ahead to end at the stadium of Allianz Arena. We wait for the return leg and how it's really gonna be really looking. I'm having Cash Ivan PSG to be the champions. All right, at this level, anyone can be a champion. Anyone can be a champion at this level, whether Bayern Munich, whether Real Madrid, whether PSG, whether Dortmund, anyone can be a champion, because it's gonna be fine margins. Like, if we're gonna hit to see the game of football today, it has been a game of fine margins, not so? So we wait and see how that happens. Cash Ivan, good luck, bro. I love you endlessly. I love you to endlessly. Thank you for putting it and making it a point to obviously not miss out onto this. Now, to show you the quality of Toni Kroos, he had most touches, 98 in this game, most passes completed. He had 79 out of 82 passes completed. He made 16 final third passes, right? Most possession won, he won it 7 times. Most interceptions he had 4 interceptions. Most chances created were 3. Most tackles he had 2. And most assists were 2. It shows you the quality of such a player at that age. He's like 34, 35 years of age, but he never really gives up when it comes to obviously doing the job. So it's really very giving, and if you're a fan of Real Madrid, you'll be excited that maybe you can really find yourself in a position of obviously doing the needful and really knocking out this side. For Harry Kane, this season, he has gone ahead to play 43 games. He has 43 goals and 11 assists. The best ever season in terms of goals and goal involvements for Harry Kane. That is what he's really offering. So Harry Kane is really non-stopping and is putting in all what it really requires. And this is really the man that was bought for 100 million euros. And if at all you really doubt why they went ahead to obviously bring him in, go to his stats and look at how he has gone ahead to do the needful. I'll find out people say, no, he scores penalties. But guys, haven't you seen people missing out on penalties? You know, that's the argument that was in between Carl Palmer and Bukayo Saka. I told you, Saka is the one who takes penalties for Arsenal, and Carl Palmer is the one who takes in penalties for Chelsea. And he has gone ahead to get 9, and out of those 9 penalties, he has gone ahead to convert all of those. He has gone ahead to score 12 goals plus 9 penalties. Those are 21 goals in the Premier League season, plus 11 assists as a player. That is really great, because Lionel Messi has been scoring penalties for Barcelona and Argentina. Ronaldo took penalties for Man United. He took penalties for Juventus. He took penalties for Real Madrid. So for me, penalties will never be an excuse. You get? So the match reaction show has gone ahead to come to an end. For everyone who has been part of this live, I really love you a lot. Thank you for obviously showing us love. There is one more recording that I'm left with, obviously showcase. Then later, all the rest, we'll talk about it tomorrow morning. May the living to God bless you abundantly. But Bayern Munich has gone ahead to obviously draw with Real Madrid at the Allianz Arena, and the game of football will be done or decided on who goes to the final. That is next week on the 8th of May. We out. Bye-bye. Muslims, Barakallahu fikum. To the Christians, we cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ.